All right, I think I'm back. Okay, and it still has that thing in the corner, but at least got my phone number on there. That's what I really wanted. All right, good morning. Once again, I'm back. Hopefully, although I don't see me on Facebook now. Where is my home on Facebook? Is it going to show me? Yep, I'm on again. Okay. So good morning. There's my phone number up the corner, 540-459-1888. And I'd already talked about my little thought this morning about everything we know is incorrect. I have gone along in my business thinking I knew how to fix things, do certain things with machines, and come to find out later, had nothing to do with what I thought it was. All right. Now, this morning I'd like to start off with talking about light bulbs, or as my dad used to say, bubs. This is a three-way light bulb, and the thing that works in a three-way light bulb is kind of interesting. We've got in the end here, you'll see a metal ring, a pin at the middle, and then the outside, of course, the screw. This makes it a three-way light bulb. There are two elements inside of the light bulb. By the way, just wanted to point out that everything is turned around properly. It took me a while, but I got it figured out. How to get it to where we actually are seeing what we're seeing instead of reversed. Anyway, so the light bulb, a three-way light bulb, actually only has two elements in it. One is a low element and one is a medium element. And so what happens is when you first turn the light switch, which this is a socket for a three-way light bulb, you'll see there's a little springy thing in the middle, piece of metal, flat, and then you'll see a little pin in there. Those two things are the contacts that fit into here and the pin on the end. When you first turn on a three-way light bulb, you turn on the low element. Light's nice and dim. Sometimes they're 25 watts. Sometimes they're 50. It depends on what kind of light bulb you've got. But it starts off with a low light bulb. Then you flick it again. That light element goes out, and the next one comes on. That's the medium element. And the medium element usually is 50, 75, even 100, sometimes 100 watts of light. So then when you flick it again to a third time, you get both elements on, the low and the medium, which gives you a very bright light. 75, 100, 150, 200 watt lights. Okay, that's how these things work. So a lot of people will come along and have me put in a three-way socket like this with the little pin in the middle, this little groover here. And then they'll come along with a light bulb like this, which only has the pin in the middle on it. And they wonder why, when they turn on the light, it doesn't come on. And then they turn it again, and it comes on once. Then turn it again, it stays the same. They turn it again, and it goes out. That's because it's only feeding on the medium element. Well, there's only one element in here. It's the only element in that bulb. So therefore, it doesn't work properly as to what you would think. It'll still function, but it's not the way it's meant to be. When I am changing light sockets in lamps for people, I usually point out that do they want to use it as a three-way lamp or as a one-way lamp? If they use it as a three-way lamp, of course, they're going to want this kind of socket, but they're also going to want this kind of bulb. If they don't know or they don't care, then I suggest this type, just the one element, because that little pin that I was talking about, and a real stiff pin that sticks up, actually grinds into this metal ring on the light bulb. And sometimes it doesn't fit quite right and gets hot. And it burns out the socket. These sockets do not last as long as a regular on and off socket. So therefore, I suggest, if you don't care, to just have an on and off socket. Now, this is a turn mechanism. They actually make these in pull chain. They do not make them in push, but they do make them in pull chain, and they make them in the turn. And so that's kind of important to know if you want to have a pull chain light, but you'd like to have it a three-way bulb. It can be done. I have done that before. So that is my lamp section of the day. I'm going to put these bulbs over here so I don't drop them on the floor and break them. Although a LED bulb, one of those lamps was an LED bulb, burned much cooler, which is a very good advantage. And I'll talk about that some other time, but LED bulbs are cooler and they do not burn. They do last longer, it seems, as the other bulbs. And you won't burn yourself on them. All right. Next, we're going to talk about sewing machines. All right. Now, you can call me at any time you'd like. At that number there, ask me questions about anything, preferably something to fix. So, we've got sewing machines. Now, in sewing machines, there's this problem called nesting. I used to call it boogering up, but you don't want to do that. That's not politically correct. It sounds naughty. Boogering up. Okay. Speaking of colds. Anyway, so when you are sewing along and all of a sudden you start sewing and you notice all this thread hanging up underneath your material, many people think it's your bottom thread that's the problem. So they take a screwdriver, don't do this, take a screwdriver and mess around with that little bobbin case down in the bottom of their machine, and sometimes the screw disappears. Boing, it's gone. And that's not good because you can't hardly find them, and if you do, then you've got to reset the tensions in the bottom. But the problem usually, if not most of the time, is your top tension at the top of your machine. You got some machines have a top tension with a dial on it. Some tensions have a little slot that you slide your thread through. But the way to help solve that problem is to pull the thread out, raise your presser foot. I know you're saying, what? But when you raise your presser foot, you actually loosen the tension, if the machine's working properly. You loosen the tension inside the machine so you can wrap that thread around the mechanisms and give it a tug at the spool and the needle. Give it a tug, boop, boop, so that the thread goes inside those little discs. Because if the thread is not inside those discs, you don't have any tension. Now, your sewing machines need tension to work, and you do too. That's why God gave us children. Well, anyway, so what you're going to do is make sure there's tension inside there, then rethread your needle after you've already done all the other tensions. Rethread your needle, lower your press foot, and start sewing. Usually that solves the problem. Your book doesn't show big gobs of thread. They should, because that is a problem that a lot of people have. Now, if you have little loops underneath your material, you can raise the number on your tension. You make it tighter. You turn the dial a little bit and make it tighter. But if you don't do that, then if you turn it the wrong way, it makes the loops larger. But they never really are those big gob loops. If they're big gob loops, you could turn that number from here to eternity, well, maybe to 9, and notice that it doesn't change a thing. So the best thing to do is to rethread your machine, make sure your tension's tight inside the thread's tight inside those discs. You can't even see the discs sometimes, but inside your machine, so that you have the proper amount of tension to operate your machine and go on from there. Alrighty. Last week, I had a customer come in with their vacuum cleaner, and what I did was I used a tool to take care of it. My brother-in-law gave it to me. It's this thing here. This is a hemostat that is for persons that have real bad colds. Or no, really, I use it to get inside of vacuum cleaners and things. But I have smaller ones that I got from a doctor from, I guess he used them in surgery and they got rid of them. But these little goobers here are very good for grabbing thread, especially in sergers. In the backs of sewing machines, you can grab the thread and pull it out with these, and they lock. So you can let go and the thread will stay inside the tensions on those. Great little things to collect. You can get them on eBay. I have a few here to store for sale. But overall, hemostats are great. If you got a doctor friend, say, hey, you got any extra hemostats? And then you can sound like a doctor when you're working. Hemostats, please. Alrighty, let's see what else I have on my list. Ooh, I have an adventure. We're gonna. Uh-oh, it says it just ended. I wonder why. Well, the one just ended. I'm on another one there. I don't know how that works, but I'm going to keep going here. My hands up. Hello. I don't know what's going on. All right, well, I'm still on YouTube, and I'll put it on Facebook later. I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to show you how to clean your carpet. One of the things that I sell here at the store is called a product called Host. Now, the reason I sell it is because it's foolproof. Okay, what that means is it might not take your stain up. Might not. But it will not ruin your carpet. A lot of carpet products out there, if it doesn't take the carpet dirt out, it might make it permanent in your carpet. And then you have to pay somebody to come in with a dye or stain system to replace what you've ruined by trying to clean it with products that aren't safe. This morning, I'm going to show you how to clean with just plain water. And I have other products, but this is called Free. I kind of like Free, so we're gonna go into that. All right, hold on here. We're going to turn the camera around. I think it'll let me do that. Will it? Nope, that's the wrong thing. Let's go back here. See if it will. Well, if it won't, we'll just go the other way. Excuse me. Ugh. You got a picture of the ceiling. So, we're going to go down here to the floor. And I've got spots down here on my carpet. Believe it or not, I have dirt on my carpet. And let's see if that can be seen there. So what you're going to want to do, hello there. What you're going to want to do is get close to your dirt. Do you see that piece, that dirt there? I have a clean towel here, and I have some water. Now, some people will take a spot remover and take a bottle and spray it or pour it all over their floor, all over the floor, all over. And what happens is the dirt, the water goes, or the fluid goes into the carpet and underneath, down underneath the carpet, all the way to the subfloor, down underneath where the floor is. What happens is then it spreads out. And when it spreads out, it kind of looks clean when you get done rubbing and everything. But the problem is, when it dries, it starts coming up, and that one spot there becomes this big because it's spread out and then comes up. What we're going to do is take my clean towel, take some water, put it in my clean towel. It's wet there. I don't know if you can tell that or not. And I'm going to take and rub it on this spot on the carpet like this. Rub it in there. Now what's happening, hopefully, is as I am rubbing this in there wet, I am taking the dirt that's on the carpet here, and it is going into, hopefully, into my towel. See that dirt there? The spot is starting to go away a little bit. Now if I had a spot remover, it would probably work better. But I'm trying to show you how to do it for free. And you can try it out and see how it works. So I'm going to do this again with another piece of wet towel. Rub it in there. Woo-wee. This might need to have some cleaner. That spot's not completely disappearing, but wait. There's another spot here I know works because I tested it early this morning. There was a spot over here I took away. So this, you see that dirt there? We're going to clean that up. I'm going to make this wet with my towel. Rub it with my finger. And, woohoo, it's already gone. And we'll talk about different types of spot removers later. But right now, I'm just trying to show you how to do something for free. And there is that spot that I just took up. Now I'm going to take a part of a clean towel because you don't want to leave it wet. The problem with leaving it wet is, yes, it will not bleed back up from the floor because I didn't make the floor wet. but it will clean your shoes really good because it's wet. So you want to keep it as dry as possible. Keep your carpet dry, because if it's wet, it cleans your shoes real good. There it goes. It's all gone. Cleans your shoes real good, but it doesn't take care of the spot. It just kind of makes it come back again later because the carpet is wet. All right. Now I need to do the, I need to call someone because, help me, I've fallen and I can't get up. That's not true. Hold on. All right. That's why they don't like to have live videos sometimes. People do stupid things and then they get themselves in trouble. All right. I have been on about 20 minutes, off and on. Let's go over here. And you would think that I would get better at this as time goes by, but I don't think I am. I think I'm doing about what I did the last time. The only thing I've changed now is lettering behind me. I now have it in the right order, which is good news. So, anyway, where is, I'm looking on my my phone here, and it's showing me not live. It's showing my my second video that didn't work so well. I'll keep working at it and add new things the next time, and hopefully not have more mistakes as I go along. If you have any questions and you're watching this not live, that's fine. Write me on my messages down below or wherever they put those things, your comments, and say, hey, why don't you talk about this? Or why don't you talk about that? Okay? Because I'm going to try to have something each time to talk about multiple items. Vacuum cleaners, of course, I didn't really talk too much about them today because all I talked about was my hemostats for getting inside the hoses. I even have a camera that goes about 30 foot into a hose so that you can see if there's anything stuck in there. I found gloves. Never found any animals yet, but I found all kinds of stuff in vacuum cleaner hoses, especially central vacuum hoses. So, oh, well, I'll give you a hint about central vacuum hoses. If you get new carpet in your house and you go vacuum your new carpet, of course, new carpet has fuzzies all over it that collect, and some people will vacuum them up real fast, and then their hose gets clogged with all these fuzzies. Had a friend that had one that got clogged up with new carpet fibers, and they decided they were going to push it out with a broom handle. Now, you have to remember, a central vacuum hose is 28 to 40 foot long. A broom handle is not 28 to 40 foot long. And they started pushing on their hose with this pole and ended up pushing it towards the middle. Well, so they thought, well, I'll go to the other end. So they did the same thing. On the other end, they pushed it in. And it looked like a boa constrictor that ate a cow. I mean, it was not really, but it was pretty bad. It took me a long time to get it all out. So if you ever get a hose that's clogged with new fuzz, slowly but surely use the vacuum in reverse. Go to the one end and suck on it with your central vacuum. Turn it around, figure out a way to get it connected to the wall to suck the other way, and sooner or later you'll pull that stuff out. If not, bring it to see me, and I will use a plumbing snake sometimes with a little curly Q on the end. But be careful, do not use a coat hanger, because coat hangers are sharp and they can punch a hole in the side of your hose, and then you'll be twice a child of perdition, I think is the way the Bible talks about it, from messing around with it yourself. All right, so let's see, what else do I have on here? Okay, what I got something down here, written down here. Oh, we live in the 21st century. All right, it's hard to believe. When I was a kid, I used to, on Sunday afternoons, watch a show by Walter Cronkite called The 21st Century. And he would talk about all those wonderful things. This was in the 1960s. He'd talk about all those wonderful things that we're going to have in the 21st century. And I have noticed one thing that's really irking me. And if somebody has an answer to this, I would appreciate it. But we live in a technological mecca in America. We have things that could cure all kinds of problems and things. But why can't we have shoelaces that stay tied? Okay? I used to, when I was a kid, made fun of the old people that had Velcro shoes because can't they tie their shoes? Well, I know why people use Velcro on their shoes nowadays, because they don't stay tied. I'll tie double knots in them. My brother never bothered me about untying my shoes for me, but my wife was in a family that did happen, and they learned to, when they tied their shoes, automatically tied a second knot in there. Well, they come loose from those too. I don't understand how shoelaces in the 21st century can come loose. It's just crazy. All right, and let's see, I got a few more minutes here. Anybody want to call me? There's the number. Whoops, I'm not used to it being reversed for me. It's right for you, but reversed for me. If you have questions for me, I will answer them. I will be back next week, hopefully on the both channels that I'm supposed to be on, the Shenandoah SewandVac page and on the Shenandoah SewandVac YouTube channel, Facebook and also on YouTube. So, one of the things that I have been thinking about a lot lately, because I heard someone say this, actually it was a singer by the name of Mark Lowry. He said, you know what? We're going to be dead a lot longer than we're alive. And it is true. I mean, you just look back in history, Caesar's been dead a lot longer than he's been alive. And we need to make what we have count. Don't waste your day. The old saying, seize the day, is kind of important. Although I catch myself daydreaming a lot and wasting time. So just remember, I am Mr. Forms. I've got forms everywhere. My former employees can tell you I had forms for all kinds of stuff. Problem was, I wouldn't look at them or I'd forget to use them. So anyway, we all have those kind of problems. It's hard to keep up. All right. I know my aunt and uncle from Idaho saw me last week on Facebook and made comments that they had seen me, which was very early for them over there. And I've seen that one of my former employees from Holland saw me on there. So it's kind of exciting. It's late in the evening over there, I think, or early evening over there in Holland. So anyway, all you guys, enjoy your day. And remember that I'll try to be back here next week. Have a great day. And don't forget to write me, ask me questions. I will try to answer them live on the air next time. Until then, this is Shenandoah SewandVac and me saying bye. I'll set that button up here. It says hit end. Did I hit it? No, I don't think I did. There, I hit it. It's ending the live broadcast now.